What's going on, everyone? Oh, that's better. So, we got our pump top in for our water-cooled Halo 5 Xbox One. I got a loop set up here. We obviously are using the 3/8 tubing because I just don't have enough of the actual ones we're using at the moment. They're not here yet. But we at least have things set up so I can leak test how our loop's going to be. And obviously the only thing we don't have in here because of the tubing size is the small radiator that we're going to use, but it doesn't leak. I've already tested that. But we can make sure this works. I still find it strange this is how they recommend to do it on opposite sides. It just feels like it wouldn't spin as much if it's going straight across than kind of doing one of these, just like all the other flow meters I've ever had. But we'll leave it like that for now. I still want to try switching it. We'll see what happens. And then we got other weird random fittings, don't worry about it. But here to here, block to here. So I also wanted to see the sound of the pump. And I'm sure, of course, the mic picks it up a lot more than in person. And honestly, I tried this before when we had that leaking flow meter, I believe. So it probably never got to fully get all the air out and get quiet. But you can also see that it starts up at a higher voltage and kind of settles down. And you can tell that by the flow meter it spins a little faster at first and then it kind of does this slower, steady pace. And obviously all the air is not out of this system yet, but I don't see any water dripping anywhere. Our block seems good. This, which had me a little nervous because it seemed like the sensor is normally sticking out farther, which actually is nice that it's not, because I can fit it here on the water block. We can actually get a temperature of water leaving our water block, which is nice. And yeah, honestly, even if it only goes this pace, that's a pretty cool pace. And you're definitely going to see it, some movement going there and go, oh, what's that? And with that LED light in there reflecting off the white meter and the fluid, it should look pretty cool. Alright, so that all seems good. We can now finish the last couple brackets and stuff and paint on here that I was hoping to have done by now, but I got this in. I wanted to test it before tearing this down. Actually, there was one other thing I wanted to show because I've changed my mind a little bit on having that grommet here and trying to figure out putting the barb on there and having some play in the tubing. So instead of that, and I will need to sand this out a little bit more, we're going to use a combination of something like this top piece, and we're just going to make sure there's an opening that when we put the top shell on, it's about right here, and then we can just screw this top piece on in place, kind of locks everything in, and then we can just put, you know, a regular, I don't have one, you know, one of these. I don't have a 90 anywhere. Basically something like this, but without the barb on there. Screwed in place, and then all we need is one elbow there instead of a combination of them. So, alright, got some of our stuff painted here, even to the outside of the radiator. So we're going to let this stuff finish curing. And although we cannot completely finish the final assembly today, we are going to start on it. I am still waiting on some fittings, but we're going to get as far as we possibly can. So let's get this finished, cleaned up on the motherboard, thermal paste and all that. We'll get our water block installed and start from there. Got a little farther along here. We got our front bracket put on that has our radiator here. It's kind of floating above the motherboard, not touching the water block, not touching the DVD drive. And there's enough of a gap in between here. You can see the hardware is not touching the actual board because of the little spacers they've got on there, so that worked out perfect. We've got this back bracket back on, however we may take it back off just so we can get to that one plug in here for our Wi-Fi module. And we have already reached our limit of barbs that I currently have. As I said, we're waiting on another pack to show up in a day or two. We've got the one here and the one here. It's kind of an odd size. They're 9mm. They just work perfectly for this tubing here. And then we're going to kind of start a little bit of this tubing here. As I said, I need one more barb for this one. That's going to go straight into here. But we can at least get this elbow on here, and this one going all the way back here. That's going to go into another elbow into the flow meter. And we're kind of getting to where we sort of have to stop for now, at least in terms of the loop, until we get, I think we need a couple more elbows, a couple other random fittings, the LED plug for the flow meter. So next up, I'm going to put the hard drive shelf in here and kind of line up where I need to get that all cut out so we can get that stuff mounted, and hopefully just finish this whole back thing. And obviously that's going to also involve finishing all the wiring here. We got all of our plug-ins on the back. So that's probably where we will pick up next time. I'm going to take care of some of the wiring harnesses, and then hopefully by then we get the rest of the parts we need to get the rest of the inside thrown together. I will be using the UV blue black tubing as much as I can on the inside, and then on the exterior we'll probably use some of the clear tubing. Our hard drive mount as well, even though I still think I want to use this harness. Doesn't quite fit with this plate that's on here, but I can easily modify that. And with the extra length here, especially with the 90 SATA plug, that's going to help give us a little extra room to get plugged in here and stay kind of low. And this one, as I said, was modified a long time ago. It already has 5-volt plug in there. We can just wire our temperature display into. We're obviously leaving this plug on this side. This one here is where the temperature display will plug into. So yeah, this is just kind of where I need to start doing half wiring, half finishing some bracketry, and keep moving along there. And yeah, that's where we will pick up. And we got our top piece here, the nice silver metallic, painted all blue on the inside. Even though you won't really see it, it should help reflect that light a little bit and give it a little bit more of a blue tint to it. We do have something going over top of this, so I will also probably handle the windows and stuff real quick. Got our rubber grommets on so that this is pretty much ready to go once we finish the inside. And I kind of did the same thing on this one. You can see the blue and the kind of charcoal gray metallic on top. Pretty cool. Anyway, a lot of little things to do, and we'll pick up where we left off, except with some wiring and stuff taken care of, and we will finish the final assembly and make sure it boots up in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please don't like, comment, or subscribe, but let me know how you like this project so far, but don't comment.